myself, as you know, and that is, I would imagine, one of the biggest questions that parents have is you wake up one day and for absolutely no reason your toddler just starts screaming and having tantrums on the floor, not wanting to get into their buggy or car seat or doing anything that they're told. How do you cope with that as a parent?
Yeah, the first thing is to breathe, because it's never for no reason. Sometimes what it is that children have a job and parents have a job. Unfortunately, while a parent's job is to set the boundary and hold it in place, your child's job is to test that boundary to the nth degree. So they're doing their job when they're doing that. They want to see how far can I push you, who's really in charge here. It's a power and control thing. It's not so much that I don't want to go where we're going in the car. You'll often have parents going, we're going to see Granny, and there's all those enticements, and the child's going, but I just don't want to put that belt on in the car, and I'm going to battle with you over that.
So how do you deal with that then?
It has to be about consistency. You have to stay really consistent, as calm as you can, while acknowledging that everybody's only human and you will snap at some point, but it has to be consistent. So in any situation around discipline, be it with a 2-year-old or a 12-year-old, it always has to be consistent. If you threaten a consequence, deliver on it, or then your child has one because they've managed to crack your system.
Okay, so threaten a consequence, we're not talking like, bribing your kids or like anything terrible. You're literally saying that I will take this off you later, or you won't watch this for 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
Try to make it something that would be immediate and that will pass quickly. The consequences should be felt, and it should be logical enough that, for example, if you have a child who's throwing things around and they break their toy, that's it. They get to see that toy go in the bin, that toy is gone. It doesn't get replaced, because the consequence of throwing your toys and breaking them is that they're gone.
So I would imagine most parents, and being a parent myself, feel that the child has stopped having a tantrum and we let him keep his car now. So that's actually the worst thing you can do, is not follow through, because they think you're a bit of a joke.
Because you can still do that when your child is calm and come together again and make up and say, and I'm really glad that you're feeling better now. It makes me happy when we can talk about things. But that toy is broken and it's gone.
But what age would that start at now? Because James is 20 months old. Is it possible for me to reason with a 20-month-old?
I think it's possible. You won't be doing it verbally. You'll be doing it in a physical sense, because at his age he's going through that second attachment cycle where children learn about themselves, who they are in the world around them, through very physical touch way. It's very much a sensory play. So you'll be doing lots of cuddles and kisses and taking things that have a soft texture. And you might be using a soft blanket and cuddling him up and holding him not just in your arms when he's having that tantrum, but with a warm blanket. And you're doing a lot of soothing like that as well. So a lot of yours will be around rocking and bringing him to a place where you can physically soothe, because that's where they learn their trust, is in that physical contact.
So for example, if they won't get in the buggy, or if they're in the shopping centre and they just refuse to do anything you say, or to move even one step further, what do you do as a parent in that
that's
situation?
a really great question, because I think the supermarket is...
It's always where it happens. It's just where it happens all the time, and you're trying to pay. And
Absolutely. That's a classic case of pick your battles.
Okay.
The supermarket might not be the place for you to roll out your consequences and all of that. Ideally, and I say ideally because there's a real life aspect to this, if you can do the shopping in 2 bursts instead of one long trip, I think that helps children as well. Depending on the age of your children, one of the techniques we do here with families is we take a large piece of paper, a large piece of coloured paper, and make a shopping list. This requires parents to go and do one recce in the supermarket themselves, identify one item per aisle that is at your child's height that they are now responsible for getting, and design a little shopping list.
That's such a brilliant idea, because James has turned into the best helper in the world.
They love to help.
He just loves helping with anything and everybody. And if I say, because I've learned in crash, brilliantly, they have a parent evening in crash, which is fantastic, and they, tell the parents what's going on, which I didn't realise when they set the table at his age and they put everything back in the sink.
Do the serving.
So I was thinking, that's brilliant. So I'm now implementing that at home as well, and he loves it. Like if I say, can you help me do this? Can you help me do that?
And with the supermarket list, the secondary gain of that is you get to do a lot of praising. Oh, thank you so much. That's really helpful, and they feel very important. As your child is a little bit older, you might be looking, particularly children who are into that Montessori stage of their crash, and are learning about counting and things, that you might include something that involves counting, like some 4 tomatoes,
Okay, yeah.
and they have to count. So then you get again say, oh, that's such good counting, and it just makes it now. Being logical as well, do not go down the chocolate and crisps aisle.
No.
It's in the supermarket and expect your child not
During
to want
Easter
those
week.
things. Exactly. So that's just something you're going to do
Yeah.
on the school run on the way home yourself, those last few bits. But you plan out your trip to the supermarket. Lots of praise. There's even a child who's sitting in the trolley can be responsible. Oh, help mummy get the tin of beans and have them put it in, and they get that praise. But if they feel
And I've
part
noticed
of
you've
it,
said before, always praise good behaviour.